Every time that you manipulate your hair, you're giving your hair an opportunity to break. One thing you need to know is that growing your hair is not a problem. It is not as hard as you think it is. The number one problem or enemy of having that long, thick, voluptuous hair that you want is breakage. So in this video, I'm going to give you all of the tips and tricks that I use to reduce breakage to its minimal level. Hello guys, and welcome to today's video. My name is Angela of Afro League, and I'm the one you should listen to if you intend to grow long, voluptuous hair. I'm going to share all of the tips and tricks that I use to reduce breakage to its minimal level when it comes to taking down your protective style. Because every time that you manipulate your hair, you're giving your hair an opportunity to break. I will not only be telling you all of the tips and tricks that I use, I'm also going to show you how I implement those tips and tricks on my hair. I'll be taking down this hairstyle I've had in for a week. This is not the greatest example of a protective style. This hairstyle is called the boho braids or goddess braids, where you have some part of your hair out. If you want to know how I installed this hairstyle, I'm going to have a link in the description box. It is the last video before this one. Although I would not recommend that you install this hairstyle because it is time consuming and it can lead to a lot of damages if you do not know how to take down your hair properly and how to maintain the curls. But with my videos, you can learn all of these things so that you can effectively install this style and enjoy this style without losing so much hair to this hairstyle. For some people, they feel that taking out a protective style is not a big of a deal when you're trying to grow your hair. They focus more on installing a protective style and they pay zero attention to how they take down their protective style. And let me tell you, that is a disaster waiting to happen. Recently, I saw a video of a girl on TikTok. If I find the video, I'm going to leave it right here. I saw the video of this girl on TikTok. She installed knotless braids. Those knotless braids were done right by her hairstylist, but then she took down those knotless braids and the amount of hair that she lost was crazy. So a lot of people neglect the process of taking down their protective style, and some people also neglect their protective style during the period that they have it on. Every stage of your protective style, installing, the period you have it on your head, and the process of taking it down is very vital. So I'm going to show you the various ways you could take down your protective styles for various situations. So the first thing I'm going to do is to just put my hair in smaller sections. I find that working in smaller sections makes things easier and faster for me. The first way I like to take down my protective style is to use water, and oil. I'm going to be using this one from Classic Organics. This is the first method I like to use. I like to use this method on short-term protective styles, hairstyles that I do not leave in my hair for more than a week. I'm going to spritz my hair with water, a tiny bit of water. The mistake some people make is to soak up their hair with water. And one thing is that when your hair is soaking wet, it is a lot more fragile than it would normally be. So I spritz a little bit of water. Then I massage that into my hair. If you can look closely, it is not even as though I put water on my hair. That is what we are aiming for. When I've massaged that into my hair, I'll then go in with my hair oil of choice. This one is from Classic Organic. I take a few drops of oil. One thing I used to do when I returned natural was the fact that I was very heavy-handed with products. Now I've realized that I do not need so much product. You can see the little amount of oil I have on my palm. Like, it's not even that much. I used to be heavy-handed on product. I felt that if I used more products, then my hair would grow faster and all of that, but that is not true. I'm not going to apply that, and I pull my hair downwards as I do this to elongate my hair. Now that that is done, because these are really tiny braids, I'm going to be using this tool to take down my hair. This is a locally made tool. I've had this for over 4 years. This is what I use in creating my parts. This is what I use in taking down really tiny hairstyles. It is metal, but it is done smoothly. So one thing I did when I installed these braids, because I knew they were going to be very tiny, was that towards the ends of the hair, I twisted it. Like from this part downwards to here, I twisted it. Because I knew that if I was going to continue braiding to the end of my hair, it was going to be really tiny for me to take down. And in that process of struggling to unravel really tiny braids, I could lose so much hair while I was doing that. That's one trick that I use. I already know that this takedown process is going to take so much time because I spent over 4 hours installing these braids. Taking down these braids is just a constant reminder to me for why two-strand twists are my favorite hairstyle to do. If it were two-strand twists, the time I used to take down just one braid, I could have taken down the whole of my hair. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. A couple of days ago, I saw a post on Instagram. They asked people to choose if they had the opportunity of having fast-growing hair or having crazy length retention, which one would they choose? I'm posing the questions: fast-growing hair, but you do not retain all of the length; slow-growing hair, but you retain all of that length. So which would you choose? For me, I would choose slow growing hair with a crazy ability to retain all of the length than fast growing hair and I don't retain all of that length. Let me explain it to you. If a person has fast growing hair and they can grow 5 inches in a year, but then they do not retain all of that length, let's say they retain 2 inches out of all of that hair, it does not make any sense to choose that when I can have slow growing hair and then I grow 3 inches of hair in a year and retain all of the length. At the end of the day, I'll be left with 3 inches of hair, but the person who has fast growing hair will be left with 2 inches of hair. It makes sense to choose slow growing hair, but you can retain all of the length. But let me tell you what is the best. The best is to have fast growing hair and the ability to retain all of that length. This goes to show you how important length retention is. And one of the ways you can retain length is how you take down your protective style. So when I take down some section of hair, I like to just slightly I wouldn't even call it finger detangling. I'll just say stretch my hair downwards with my hands. So what I'm doing with this tool is, because the braids are intertwined so tightly, I'm just going to use this tool to separate these. Then I use my hand to pull it downwards. I just find that doing that reduces the possibility of my hair tangling. For some people, they would do this and then drag it. Can you see what it's doing? It's the stalk. This cannot effectively take down the braids. When you force it downwards, you're going to be breaking your hair. So I just find it easier to use this tool to loosen the braids like so. Then I use my fingers to detangle. And as I'm taking down the braids, I make sure I loosen it to the ends of my hair. The mistake some people make is they would loosen the hair to a certain point and just leave it halfway. Leaving it halfway would allow your hair to tangle together right here. And when you come to fully detangle your hair, this becomes a problem for you. You're going to be fighting with tangles and you can lose your hair in that process. So just take out the time to make sure you fully detangle your hair down to the ends and not leaving it halfway to come back to it later. At some point, I begin to feel this tool is not so useful, so I just put it aside and use just my fingers to take down the braids. You may have noticed that there's no comb in sight. Well, that is because, to me, combs are not so important. You do not need to comb your hair every day. You don't even need to comb your hair every week. I finger detangle my hair most of the time. And you can see my hair is not even tangled. It is not matted. Because combing your hair all of the time is also a form of manipulation, and doing that excessively could lead to breakage. For some reason, I thought taking down this hairstyle I would lose so much hair, but I'm not losing so much hair. It could be that I'm great at taking down my protective styles, or this hairstyle is not as bad as I assumed it is or it was going to be. Now that I'm done with taking down this section of hair, I'm going to lightly detangle the hair with my fingers. Then I'll put this section in a twist. The major mistake I was doing, I was taught to take down all of my hair before I proceed to comb my hair. That is the reason why a lot of naturals find it difficult to comb their hair or detangle their hair. It's the fact that they will take down all of their hair first. They will not even likely detangle the hair to separate the hair or whatever. They will just take it down, leave it. Then when they are done, that is when they will not proceed to comb their hair all at once. And most times, it does not always end well, especially for people who have like really thick hair. It's not impossible, you can do it, but in that process of struggling with all of your hair, making sure you comb your hair, it is just a very stressful process to comb your hair that way. Working in section saves time. It does save time. A lot of people will be like, how do you comb your hair? And when I tell them I work in sections to detangle, they'll be like, oh, you have time, oh, that is too much stress. But I just realized that working in sections is actually working smarter and not harder, because before the person will struggle with all of their hair, you would have done your hair in sections and it would have been over with. And when you do your hair in sections, you reduce the possibility of you losing your hair compared to when you try to comb your hair all at once. Now that I'm done showing you how I detangle with water and oil, I'm going to show you the second way to take down your protective style effectively. So this is other section of hair to work on with the other method. What some people like to do is to make a mixture of their leave-in conditioner and water. But for me, I do not like to make a mixture because I might make more than I would need. That means I'll have to try out the remaining mixture if I'm not going to use it immediately. So I prefer to first of all spray with water, then I apply my favorite leave-in conditioner on top and not make the mixture. But if you're certain you can make the right amount of mixture that you would need, then you can go ahead. But for me, I don't do that. I'm also going to be using this detangling moisturizing leave-in conditioner from Classic Organics. I love this product. See, when they named this product detangling leave-in conditioner, they knew what they were talking about. I love how easy it makes detangling my hair. Like, it is so easy, super easy. My hair just slips and slides and glides, you know, and I love it. I'm just going to spritz water. Again, a tiny amount of water, not drench your hair. A tiny amount of water. And then use some of this leave-in conditioner. If you are taking down a long-term protective style, a protective style that you've left in your hair for a while, especially if you use extensions in installing the hair, if you're taking down that kind of protective style and you notice dirt just packed up around this portion of your hair, please do not use water on it. Using water on it will make it really sticky. Your hair strands will be clumped together, and for you to gently separate every strand of hair from that ball of dirt will be a lot harder, and if you're not patient, you can lose your hair in that process. Just use only oil on that portion of hair and the dirt would separate easily for you to take down your hair. Please do not use water on that. Like, it's not the best option for you in that situation. Most times when I use leave-in conditioner to take down a hairstyle, I know that immediately after takedown process, I'll be going in to wash my hair. But when I'm not sure of when I'll be washing my hair, I just use oil on my hair because it is lightweight. And if you implement these tips that I've shared with you, you're definitely going to experience less breakage when it comes to taking down your protective style. So I'm just going to concentrate on taking down this protective style, and then I'll get back at the end to show you the amount of hair I have lost.